Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the members of the Galar King Trio, including the legendary Ice-type Pokemon Glastrier, the Wild Horse Pokemon, the legendary Ghost-type Pokemon Spectrier, the Swift Horse Pokemon, and the legendary Psychic Grass-type or Psychic Ice-type in Ice Rider form and Psychic Ghost-type in Shadow Rider form, Pokemon Calyrex, the King Pokemon, or High King Pokemon in either of its Rider forms. While they might not appear to be of much concern on their own, together, the members of the Galar King Trio are a set of powerful creatures that can truly bring forth the might of the natural world and the royal power that once ruled over those in the Galar region.
Glastrier has the appearance of a horse with snow-white hair, walking on solid hooves that are covered in thick ice for protection and to amplify the power of its physical attacks. Additionally, its tail and head are covered in a thick layer of ice, its head especially having a large series of icy spikes in its form, its eyes being pure white in color, as if it was dead. Spectrier also has the same basic form as a traditional horse, but is covered in jet black hair with pale purple tail and 4 hooves that radiate a bright purple energy field that is separated from the rest of the leg near the ankles. It also features a long purple mane with violet strips of hair, its ears standing out, as does the light sprig of hair that partially covers its perpetually closed eyes. Calyrex normally has the appearance of a rabbit of some sort, covered in light grey fur with thin, elongated legs and small arms with green bases. Its body is covered in a series of cape-like fur extensions with a deep emerald color, forming a series of bulbous orbs that encircle his head and help to frame his small black nose and emerald eyes, and further features a massive green ovoid growth on his head that is held aloft and attached to his 4 ears, working as the seat of the creature's intelligence and psychic powers. In addition, the creature can wield the Reins of Unity to combine with Glastrier and Spectrier to form Ice Rider Calyrex and Shadow Rider Calyrex respectively, unlocking the being's true power in the process.
The legends of Glastrier and Spectrier are tied directly to that of Calyrex, and while the origins are not completely understood, their connection to Calyrex nonetheless makes them important to understand and analyze.
It is said in Galarian legend that these creatures once roamed the wilderness of the Crown Tundra as a nuisance to the locals, as they would gallop around to destroy and feast on the crops of the people, acting aggressively towards all that dared to oppose them. It seems as if there was no way to control them, but with some help from the people of the land, Calyrex was able to use an item called the Reins of Unity, made from a radiant flower and hair from the horses, as crafted by human hands and thanks for the prosperity that Calyrex brought to the lands, to tame these wild beasts and put them directly under its control, not only rendering them loyal to Calyrex, but as a whole, binding riders, steed, and the people of the land together. For a time, these creatures acted as the steeds of Calyrex and took him wherever he desired, their powers unifying them as one, and they were able to bring great bounty to all across the land with ease. However, as the people slowly forgot about Calyrex and failed to pay him tribute, he lost the ability to generate radiant flowers, and with all those reigns being remade and renewed at the beginning of every single year, Calyrex was unable to maintain control over the wild animals, and they eventually went rogue centuries ago. While modern efforts to reunite the two have proven to be successful, it nonetheless paints a vivid image of just how untamable these beasts have proven to be without the equipment needed to truly overpower them. Glastrier, despite looking quite beautiful with hair as white as fresh snow or solid ice, is a belligerent and proud beast that gladly takes anything it wants by force without any real care paid toward those it attacks and steals from, unable to resist challenging any strong opponents it comes across. This wild beast is noted for its capacity to control the cold as a weapon, its nose and hooves emitting an intense coldness at all times, its hooves being able even to exude enough cold energy to freeze the ground, allowing it to blast off quickly across the ground when in battle. While not very fast or nimble, it has tremendous physical strength and is very difficult to directly harm as a result of the unyielding ice that covers its form, the ice covering its face in particular being 100 times harder than diamond. Not surprisingly, this makes the beast a formidable foe to have to handle in any combat scenario, even if it might not get a great deal of moves to work well with its type assignment. At the same time, its impressive physical attributes make it a terrifying force to behold when combined with its attitude, as it can not only use its might and stamina to charge through the snowiest of lands and the worst of roads on its thick, burly legs, but it also translates into a unique ability known as Chilling Neigh that can make it a juggernaut in close quarters combat by increasing its attack stat every time it directly causes an opponent to faint, rendering it a potentially devastating force to be reckoned with over the course of a long battle. The only thing that can be used to get it to back off are ice root carrots, a special vegetable that can only be grown in icy soil and that serves as the favorite food of the horse, being capable of pacifying it for at least short periods of time. Even so, fighting it can be a difficult proposition, as while it might not be very fast or adept at using special attacks, every other aspect of it is above average for fully evolved ice-type Pokémon, so only Pokémon with the capacity to tackle its only major weaknesses will be able to handle it without trouble. Spectrier, despite looking quite beautiful with hair as black as the midnight gloom in which ghosts appear, is an arrogant beast that gladly takes anything it wants by force without any real care paid towards those it attacks and steals from. This wild beast craves silence and solitude, tending to only be active at night when its energy is heightened, as is noted for its ghostly powers, and not only is able to readily probe its surroundings with most of its senses, its hearing especially, minus its sense of sight, as its very weak eyesight is a consequence of its nocturnal habits, but is said to be able to separate souls from their bodies with a single kick, and even absorb the life energy of sleeping creatures in the night in an attempt to both nourish itself and reduce the land to a silent, solitary place for its own sense of peace and quiet. Not surprisingly, this makes this incredibly agile beast a formidable foe to have to handle in any combat scenario, and that will attack any trespasser in its territory that dares to disturb its tranquil habitat until it drives them off, even if it might not get a great deal of moves to work well with its type assignment. At the same time, its impressive special attributes make it a terrifying force to behold when combined with its attitude, as it translates into a unique ability known as Grim Neigh that can make it a juggernaut in long-range combat by increasing its special attack stat every time it directly causes an opponent to faint, rendering it a potentially devastating force to be reckoned with over the course of a long battle. The other thing that can be used to get it to back off are shade root carrots, a special vegetable that can only be grown in spiritually energized soil and then serve as a favorite food of the horse, being capable of pacifying it for at least a few short periods of time. Even so, fighting it can be a difficult proposition, as while it might not be very physically strong or resilient against damage, every other aspect of it is above average for a fully evolved ghost-type Pokémon, so only Pokémon with the capacity to tackle its only major weaknesses will be able to handle it without trouble.
The legend of Calyrex stretches back to the beginning of the habitation of the Crown Tundra by humans, and serves as a testament to the creature's benevolent nature and desire to bring peace and harmony to the world.
In ancient times, it is said that Calyrex ruled as the king of the Crown Tundra, and had the miraculous ability to create vibrancy in the land through the manipulation of the local flora. In exchange for loyalty, respect, and tribute, Calyrex brought great bounty to the land, his very strength derived from that of the people themselves. With a sweep of his right hand, he could blanket the land in verdant grasses and blooms, and with a sweep of his left hand, he can cause the fruits of the fields to ripen and grow heavy. As already noted, he was even able to use an item created by the people of the region, the Rains of Unity, to take control of Glastrier and Spectrier, keeping them from attacking the people and devouring their crops. With these steeds at his side, Calyrex could use their combined powers to create entire forests in a single night, and buds would appear behind their footsteps, blanketing the land in flora. Though it is said by some that Calyrex would spirit away those that made mischief in his fields, he was a kind and benevolent ruler, capable of great blessings, healing and mending hearts, and made sure that the people of his land were taken care of, so long as tribute and a new set of Rains of Unity were presented to him at the start of every new year. However, it is thought that 3,000 years ago, the events of the Darkest Day and the introduction of Galar particles and Dynamax energy weakened the king and robbed him of his capacity to create radiant flowers. Though he seems to have been saved from the worst effects by being immune to the behavioral effects of the particles, as seen in his capacity to Dynamax with blue purified Dynamax energy rather than the normal red Dynamax energy, which was a key component needed to create the Rains of Unity. Without this, he lost control of his steeds and the land began to falter, and with this change the people began to forget Calyrex and could not produce the rains needed to maintain this control. Over time, as the people lost faith and forgot the ways of old, the land grew colder and colder as Calyrex lost more and more of his power, until the land became the tundra known today, with little land being usable for human support. Calyrex faded into legend and myth, thought to be merely that and nothing more, though still deprived the people of Freezington, the only human settlement left in the Crown Tundra today. Recent times, however, have seen the creature become part of reality once again, and while the land may be too far gone for Calyrex to heal, at the very least, recent events have proven his existence, and restored him to his full power from olden times, thanks to the actions of one anonymous trainer, returning him to the rightful state of king once more. With all of this said, however, it is noted that Calyrex on his own is not all that powerful, as while his unique form can make others feel awkward around him, granting him access to Unnerva's only ability, his stats are not very impressive, only having a base speed stat that's above average for fully evolved grass-type Pokemon, and an above average base HP stat for fully evolved psychic and grass-type Pokemon. But this does not measure the true power he is capable of wielding.
While on his own, Calyrex is at least decently powerful, his true and full power is unlocked when he becomes a part of Glastrier or Spectrier, bonded to them through a Rains of Unity into either his Ice Rider or Shadow Rider forms.
When he is bonded to Glastrier in his Ice Rider form, he is noted for showing no mercy to those that get in his way, a product of Glastrier's influence, but will still heal the wounds of his opponents after battle. His strength is so great that it is said that once he moved a large forest, and all the Pokemon inside of it elsewhere in a single night, showing his immense power and control over the natural world. Moreover, the power of his steed is heightened as well, granting it the capacity to breathe freezing air almost too cold to properly measure, as well as the endurance needed to run for 7 days and nights on end, no matter how rough the road may be, by instantly freezing and smashing through any obstacles it comes across. While in this state, Calyrex becomes Psychic Ice type and experiences a considerable decrease to his base speed stat, but makes up for this with a slight increase to his base special attack stat, an astronomical increase to his base special defense stat, a monstrous increase to his base defense stat, and a mind-numbing increase to his base attack stat. In addition, it allows the creature to use the combined might of his own powers and that of Glastrier to not only use all their combined moves, but also execute a powerful attack known as the Glacial Lance attack, a highly damaging move that can strike multiple opponents at once with the force needed to blast a hole right through a mountain and keep right on going, in turn proving to be a devastating weapon to have to face in battle. On the other hand, if Calyrex uses a Reigns of Unity to bomb with Spectrier, he will take on its Shadow Rider form. In this state, Calyrex gains heightened influence over the spiritual world, and can see both the past and the future, and apparently once uses power to save all of the creatures in a forest from a meteorite strike, using his steed's swift movements to run thousands of miles in a single day. Calyrex can also effectively combine its powers with its steed, and condense the beast's spectral aura into a large black mist-like mass that has the power to absorb life energy in the souls of nearby living creatures like a black hole. In its Shadow Rider form, Calyrex becomes Psychic Ghost type and experiences a slight increase to his base attack stat, a moderate increase to his base special defense stat, a monstrous increase to his base speed stat, and a mind-numbing increase to his base special attack stat. In addition, it allows this creature to use the combined might of his own powers and that of Spectrier to not only use all their combined moves, but also execute a powerful attack known as the Astral Barrage attack, a highly damaging attack that can also strike multiple opponents at once with a devastating rain of will-o-wisps and render itself, and thus this Pokemon, a formidable force to be reckoned with. Combine all this with the fact that Calyrex takes on unique signature ability as one while in either of these fused states, which effectively allows him to possess both his primary ability and that of his fused steed of choice, not to mention that his union allows Calyrex to extend its power up to a range of 30 miles and acquire the highest base special attack and speed stats out of all Ghost-type Pokemon in a Shadow Rider form, and the highest base stat total out of all Psychic-type Pokemon, tied with Mewtwo, Lugia, Hoopa Unbound, Solgaleo, Lunala, and Necrozma in either of his fused states, and it becomes quite clear why this is a Pokemon to be both revered and feared in any sort of combat scenario.
The members of this legendary trio are truly the stuff of legends when it comes to the history of the Galar region, and shows that even the royalty of ancient times wasn't necessarily human in all cases. Glastrier is a rugged and wild beast that can prove to be a serious problem to handle without strong special attacks to get it to back down, as its mighty frame can otherwise make it a pain to handle. Its capacity to seemingly freeze anything it touches with its feet can further make it a chilling for it to deal with just as much in turn. Spectre, on the other hand, might be quite aggressive, but there is a nice sereneness to its power that makes it a unique specimen to observe in action. It might not be able to take a lot of physical punishment, but with how incredibly fast it can move, that might not matter if you can't hit it properly or avoid its powerful special offenses. And Calyrex himself is an adorable, yet secretly powerful king that commands the powers of nature to bring prosperity to all that can remember his presence. Honestly, he's a really nice guy as a whole, truly a benevolent figure, and I'd love to be able to sit down and have a conversation with him someday. While it's unlikely that the king will be able to return the whole of the Galar region to its former glory everywhere, at the very least with his steeds at his side once again, there are likely good things in store now for those that catch a rare glimpse of the true king of the Galar region in the frigid lands of the Crown Tundra.
Unified by the history of the Galar region and the many tragedies that have befallen it, the members of the Galar King Trio are potent fighters that can show what it takes to truly tame and bring prosperity to the world even when humans cannot do it on their own. You might have to brave the frigid temperatures of the Crown Tundra if you ever want the chance to meet these creatures in person, but the journey can be more than worth it if you're in the mood to exchange words with true royalty.
Just do yourself a favor and try not to do anything to get on the bad side of this royal rabbit, or you might just get to witness the true might at his disposal and the power that once kept the Galar region safe from the attacks of all that dared to challenge his authority.
Thank you all for watching this video. It always brings me great joy to see others enjoying the work I do to try and make the world of Pokemon and the fascinating creatures that lay inside of it feel as real as they possibly can. If you really enjoy my work, please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe, as I always do my best to respond to any and all comments that are left on my videos. In addition, if you wish to learn more about my work and help support it, you can find links to my Patreon page, as well as email and other contact information to my work on DeviantArt in the video description down below. Furthermore, you can find a link to my Discord server there as well if you'd like to get a first glimpse at what videos are coming up next and converse with other fans of the world of Pokemon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and have a wonderful rest of your day.